We're out here eating our sushi. Yeah, it's very beautiful. Today is Tuesday. 2 days ago, my dad passed away. Never. Life is so crazy, bro. I don't know. It was very unexpected, to say the least. It was a tragedy. Honestly, what happened to him, and I guess I want to come out here and ponder and reflect. I think I want to make this video. I want to just document my feelings, and also, I know I'm not the only person that goes through losing a parent, and it's hard, it's difficult, because you just never imagine something like that happening. Even though it's like I am insane in the head and used to think like, oh my gosh, like, what if this person dies? What if that person dies? But it is a strange feeling. Yeah, it's so weird because it's just like, you could have paid me $1 million to believe that my dad would have passed away. You know what I mean? Like, you couldn't have paid me $1 million just to believe like that's what would happen. Yeah, it's insane to think about it. It really hurts my heart, but it's nice to know that he had community around him, people who loved him and cared about him, because I guess when news started spreading around that he passed, getting a lot of calls and texts, about his concern, and even talking to like his neighbors and stuff. It was nice to know that, he had community, and that really does warm my heart. Honestly, I'm not even trying to be funny. I just think it's crazy, You never know where life is going to take you. And you couldn't have told me this is how I would be starting off my year, It's also crazy because, sometimes my mind would slip. And it would feel like a regular day because I didn't live with my dad and stuff like that. So it would just be like, no, yeah, like my dad's still alive, but then it's like, actually he's not. So, and then, the grief of even me and my father's relationship, since we didn't have a perfect relationship. I mean, like, no one has a perfect relationship, but it's like I'm also grieving the relationship as well. Grieving the thought of, maybe we could have spent more time together and talk more, even though it was nice to know that I was talking to him more consecutively before he passed, but, it's the grieving of what could have been, what relationship could we have had. But I think at the end of the day is that, we both tried our best with the circumstances that we had, and he was a good dad. Like, he was, anything I invited him to, he was there. Even like hanging out at his house and stuff. It was nice. It was cool. A lot of people say me and my dad are the same, and we kind of have our own strange way of, I guess, existing. Like, even going to his house, it'd just be like we would just coexist. But it was nice. It was nice being around him, and I'm grateful enough to have been around him. Because a lot of people, they don't be seeing their dad for real. You know what I mean? It's like hard to figure out my emotions. And I think my emotions are a little bit more controlled now because, oh baby, I was a boo-hoo crying. But I just, I'm just trying my best. I take every day, day by day. Keep myself up together because I know that's what he would have wanted. Thank you so much. Wow. Wow. I've been trying to at least keep up with, the priorities that I need to take care of, but also just wanting to feel my emotions. Like, this is actually crazy. What's happening to me? And I think I'm starting to lose my mind a little bit. Now so I'm like, let me come here. Bro, I'm literally trying to have a little moment talking about my father, and you guys are ruining it. It's just crazy to think, like, this cannot be my life. Like, if you, like, oh my freaking gosh, yeah, I'm about to piss me off. I don't know. It's just like, I feel like I'm kind of going crazy, and I know this is shifting a lot of things in my life. And it's not gonna be just a small thing, and like, I'm gonna be able to get over it easily, but I'm just trying to take it day by day, and just reminisce and look back on our relationship. And even though certain things were tough and we butted heads, but at the same time it was like we both knew that we loved and that we cared for each other. And the last time I did speak to him, which was like last week, like a couple of days ago, and I did tell him that I loved him. And I genuinely been meaning that, even if I'm like, damn, this man is actually crazy. It's like, but that's my dad, and I still love and care for him, despite our differences, despite whatever strait we had. That love was always there, and that kind of brings some peace, I guess. I don't know. It's like, it's so strange, and navigating all of these emotions between like grieving him and how he passed, and also grieving our relationship, and also having to grieve and like not try to feel the shame of like, oh, I was a crappy daughter and stuff like that, because yeah, like, we loved each other. And I really wish I would have had one last chance to like speak to him, because there was stuff like we didn't talk about, and I think it really did affect our relationship. But at the same time, it's just like, I didn't know. If I knew that he was gonna die on Sunday, like, I would have been like, hey babes, like, let me call you up and let me tell you how much I love you and actually appreciate all you have done for me. And even like when I was walking on another trail, I was reflecting on like how much he has shaped me as a person, whether it was intentionally or unintentional, you know what I mean? Like, with me and my sister, he will always be like, oh, let me show you how to fix this and do this on the computer, or fix this in the car. And he used to joke and be like, oh, I don't have God didn't give me any boys, so I just have y'all. So he would teach us those things. But I think that's a part of the reason why I feel like I'm a independent woman today, you know what I mean? Or like, just showing me like, hey, it doesn't matter your gender, you still have to know how to have a efficient life. And I'm grateful for that, and I'm grateful that he was resourceful, he always cared. And I didn't take it for granted at the time being, and I definitely don't take it for granted now. um yeah, I just think it's gonna be a tough time, and I just want to be connected with my emotions. I could be a person where I'm like disconnected and disassociating a lot, but I want to really just like take the time and grieve, because grieving is like such a lifelong thing. It's not something that only happens today, or like, okay, after the funeral ends or after 3 months then it's like you're okay. It's like, it's a lifelong thing that goes through different phases, and unfortunately you do have to go through all of those phases, you know what I mean? I think grief is such a weird thing, because it's like your emotions are everywhere and your head is everywhere. And also like, even someone passing away is so weird, because it's just like the first few days it's like, okay, you just found out today, you have 4 days to plan a funeral, and it feels like you don't even have enough time to really sit down with your emotions and really assess how you feel, because like you already have to hurry up. Okay, find a funeral home, find this, do that. And also it's like those obligations don't end, because after that it's like you have to deal with the person assets and their insurance and stuff like that. And it's like excuse me, it feels like all these capitalist ideals just weigh down on you, and you really never have the time to truly take a step back and freaking just sit back and think, or just sit back and feel. Grief could be beautiful because it gives you, I don't want to say a new perspective, but it allows you to see things through a different lens and be more appreciative of, things that happened in the past with the person who passed away, or things that they said, or ways that they lived their life, and how that affects us. I don't think in real time you really realize how much, even if it's like, oh, like this person is annoying, it's like, oh, like you're thinking it's backwards. But when you look back, it's like, I could see like where you were coming from, and I think you appreciate the person more, and it gives the person more nuance. I think also for me, it's like, like it's a nightmare, honestly. Like I'm living in a freaking nightmare. Like this is like the worst thing that has ever happened to me, and very traumatizing. BT dubs. Even though I'm not gonna say like how he passed away, but they just take my freaking word for it. Very traumatizing. I try not to conspire or think about it too much, because I am a type of person. The imagination is kind of crazy, and my mind is a prison right now. My mind is a prison. Like, if I think too hard, it's like I could see the images of him, and it's just like it's just like I can't help thinking about it. It's on my mind constantly. You know what I mean? And it's very unfortunate, and it's a tragedy. And I'm not the type of person to believe like, oh, if someone dies, it's a part of this greater plan. This is truly a tragedy, and I wouldn't wish it on anyone. It's just, I guess I try to be forward thinking and try to think of like, okay, like what's the list of things I could do, or how could I have my father live through me, and how could like certain things that he did in his life, how could I implement them in mine to make sure that his name and his personality and his soul continue to live on. Because it's literally like, those are things that let people continue, like even if they're not here, they're still here with us, where it's like, even just like thinking about him in his life, or memories that we had together, or stories that he has told me and stuff like that. Even so, sometimes I'd be like, sir, you're crazy, but try to think of them and see, like, to implement them in my life, so that he could continue to live on, even though he is not here on earth. I don't know if this is going to be a long video, but I just wanted to talk about my feelings and my emotion with grief, because it's so strange going through this stuff, like someone that you knew and that you loved and that you care for is no longer here, and there's nothing in your willpower that you could do to change that. And it's like, it's scary, because it's like so many people around me have died, to the point where I'm like, let me not make no new friends, because I'm like, I'm running out of family members, so next is gonna be the friends. And I mean, I'm not saying that, but like, that's how I be feeling. It just makes things like, even now when it's like I have to take prereqs and more classes, it just make it seem like it doesn't matter, because I'm gonna die anyways. You know what I mean? It's like, why try so hard in life if it's that one day in my sleep it's all gonna be gone. It's just like hard to think about the way he passed, and it was like he was looking forward to so many things, and there were so many things I wanted to do for him, but now I can't. And it's unfortunate, and I can't imagine. I just can't imagine living life without him. It's hard to imagine next month or next year or in 2 years or in 5 years and he's not here. But all you can do is just try your best and really take it day by day. I just think I'm in a place right now where so much change is freaking happening and I didn't ask for that. Also, I'm not good with change, so literally having someone pass away is like so earth shattering. Like, well, I low-key when we found out, I really wish the earth could just swallow me up. That would be a better option. But it's earth shattering. Like, even like there was like for a second I'm like literally nothing's worth it. Like there's no, and I already be feeling like that. I already be getting existential like that on a regular day basis. But now just like literally like you could work hard and you could plan and do all these things, but it's just like life gets taken away from you. And I just feel like that's not fair. And I know people's like, well, death is a part of life, and like I understand that, but I just think this isn't how life should be, where it's like it's just gone like that. I don't know. But I'm trying to be proactive. I'm trying to be intentional. I'm trying not to let life slip through. And even though like there are days I just been wanting to rot in bed. I don't really want to get, out of my bed, but literally I had to write in my agenda like, okay, this is what you're gonna do for today, because if I don't, I'll just sit in bed and just stare at the ceiling. And I don't want my mental health to get to a place where it is scary, because my family can't afford another tragedy. So I'm going to do my best to be the best person I could be.